What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including, does JBL want another match with John Cena? Rey Fenix mocks his AEW situation, Corey Graves gets called out, concern over the Women's Royal Rumble, the Dudleys versus the Hardys one more time, John Cena teases a TNA appearance, Hogan becomes a grandfather, should Tessa Blanchard be given a second chance, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at JBL wanting another match with Cena. Now our top story today takes a look at the possibility of WWE running back a notable feud from the Ruthless Aggression era. With 2025 being Cena's final year in WWE, various rivals from the past 20 years have come forward wanting a rematch with Big Match John. And these names range from CM Punk to Kevin Owens, but now JBL has confirmed on his podcast that he wants to step back in the ring and face Cena one more time. Of course, yeah, because I think the world of John, and I was so happy that it was part of John's formative career. I don't take any credit for anything, John did. John would be exactly where he is now, with or without me. I'm just glad that I was one of the ones that was there at the start, but John's such a great guy. I mean, everything about him. I mean, the more you know about John, from his Make-A-Wish, what he does, to how he interacts with fans, to how he interacts with talent, what he's done for talent. I mean, it's just amazing. It's not going to happen, by the way. There's absolutely zero talk of it. A WWE delivering a Cena vs JBL match in 2025 would be truly crazy, and it'll be interesting to see the fan response to JBL's pitch. Next up, John Cena to feud with an NXT name. Now, speaking of Cena, it appears that a certain name in NXT is planting the seeds to feud with the former WWE champion. Ethan Page appeared on Busted Open Radio this week, and Page was extremely critical of Cena declaring himself for the 2025 Rumble. I don't have the same privileges as John Cena. He gets to pretend that he's earning everything. Come on the microphone and say, oh guys, I don't want you to think I'm just showing up and taking spots. I'm gonna earn my spot. And then just announce that he's in the Royal Rumble. And there were rumors last year that Page was getting set for an NXT call-up. However, these rumors have died down in the recent weeks. Nevertheless, if Page is called up, then Cena would be the perfect first feud for the talented star. Next up, Rey Fenix mocks the AEW situation. One of the top stories of 2024 focused on Rey Fenix's AEW deal. Whilst Penta was able to leave AEW and now finds himself in a prominent position in WWE, Fenix remains under AEW contract, and his contract runs way into the calendar year. Fenix has clearly had enough, and he took to X this weekend to post a photo of himself in a straitjacket. Yeah, a literal straitjacket, and it had AEW knee pads on. Fenix has clearly realized that shooting on the company and speaking his truth may be the best option to get released, but it remains unclear if AEW, or specifically Tony Khan, have any plans to let Fenix go. It's believed that Fenix, just like his brother, will end up in WWE, and it was even reported late last night that Triple H wanted to bring the Lucha Brothers in as a collective unit, but due to Fenix's AEW contract, that wasn't able to go ahead. What's probably even more frustrating for Fenix is that AEW took down his merchandise recently. Next up, Tony Khan though gets defended by a WWE star. Now, fans are firmly on Team Rey Fenix and continue to use social media to push AEW to release Fenix from its contract. However, not everyone is siding with Rey Fenix, and one of the names that has taken issue with Fenix's antics is former WWE star Baron Corbin. According to Corbin on X, Fenix signed a contract with AEW and he must honor it. If you sign a contract, you honor it. Would it have been okay if Tony didn't pay him while he was hurt or out of action? The answer is no, because Tony signed the contract as well. You can't switch teams after getting what you want and signing the contract. Corbin would spend a couple of hours going back and forth with fans, and it's interesting to see a former contracted wrestler share his own opinion on the topic. But is Corbin speaking some truth into this? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Corey Graves gets called out. Corey Graves has been the talk of the wrestling world this week, as he was demoted to NXT in early January, and after some comments on social media, Graves was mysteriously pulled from this week's edition of NXT. But it now appears that Graves' antics aren't sitting well with certain individuals within the wrestling business, and wrestling legend Teddy Long has fired shots at Graves on the Wrestling Time Machine podcast. Corey Graves needs to understand that he has nothing to prove. He's already proved himself. Go to NXT, help those guys down there who need your guidance, educate them, and teach them about the broadcast business. The main thing is, you're still getting a paycheck, so what's the problem? You're employed, man. you're still getting paid. It's not beneath you. And whilst Long is correct calling NXT not being beneath a WWE commentator, it's clear that Graves is disappointed that he's been pulled from the main roster, which is somewhat understandable since Graves has had a stellar 2024 from a commentary perspective, and he's even tasked with transitioning over to a play-by-play commentary assignment, which was a role in which he did extremely well in. When it was announced that Pat McAfee wouldn't be calling Raw tomorrow, it was an expectation that Graves would step in. However, it was confirmed on Friday that Wade Barrett will be taking McAfee's place for 1 week only, which certainly sums up the issues between Graves and WWE. Hopefully the two can sort their issues out and Graves soon finds himself back calling WWE programming. Next up, Edge reveals his retirement plan. Now, it's no secret that Edge, aka Cope, is winding down his career, and according to the WWE Hall of Famer on an appearance on Up Close, he wants to end his career by putting over younger talent. That's going to be the big decision for me. What do I do with the last? Who do I get in there with the last? I'd love to get in there with a young person and just try and strap a rocket to him. In my last match, what can I do to try to get someone set up? Or at least another block in the foundation to set them up to be able to take it further and further. Now, it's very likely that Edge will end his wrestling career in AEW, and there are various names that he could end his career in a match against. But who would be the best? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, MVP retiring. Now, it's not just Edge that has retirement on his mind, as current AEW star MVP took to Instagram this weekend to announce that the clock is ticking on his in-ring career. Vintage MVP 2025 and I'm still balling. The clock is ticking on my in-ring career. I don't have much time left, but I promise to give you everything I've got until I finally reach the final match. MVP has been slowing down in the ring for a number of years now, however it's possible that MVP still continues his duties as a manager once he calls it a day in the ring. Next up, the Dudleys versus the Hardys one more time. Bully Ray is pushing for a wrestling company to book the Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys one more time. Taking to X, the former multi-time tag team champion had this to say when it came to a company running the match back. One last match? If so, which company? 3 of the 4 names, those being Ray, Matt and Jeff, are still active, so it'll only require Devon to agree to come out of retirement. But this would be a huge match for a company like WWE to book, and although all 4 men are way past their prime, the match could cash in on the Attitude Era nostalgia and the universal love for both teams. Is a match between the Dudleys and the Hardys something you'd be interested in seeing? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, concern over the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, there's a lot of concern this weekend from fans on social media when it comes to the Women's Rumble. The men's lineup is looking absolutely stacked this year with names already confirmed including John Cena, Roman Reigns and CM Punk. In relation to the Women's Rumble, only one name has been confirmed so far, that being Nia Jax. The Women's Rumble has barely been mentioned on TV and it's almost as if WWE Creative aren't interested in promoting the match in any capacity. WWE now have less than 2 weeks left before the big show, so hopefully they get their act together and the Women's Rumble begins to get some attention on Raw and SmackDown. Next up, John Cena teases a TNA appearance. And one of the names that looks to be excited for the TNA WWE collab is John Cena. This morning, Cena took to Instagram to post both the TNA and WWE logos, and this has led to speculation that Cena may make a one-off appearance in TNA during his final years as an active wrestler. This will be huge as he's never stepped foot in the promotion. Next up, Hulk Hogan becomes a grandfather. Now, even though there's been a lot of negative press about Hulk Hogan, at least congrats are in order for him as he's now become a grandfather. Hogan's daughter Brooke Hogan welcomed her set of twins on January 18th and Brooke made the news public via her Instagram. And finally, should Tessa Blanchard be given a second chance? Our final story today takes a look at a call from wrestling legend Matt Hardy to give Tessa Blanchard another chance. Blanchard is firmly back in TNA as a contracted talent, which has angered a lot of fans and fellow wrestlers. Blanchard was called out in 2020 with bullying and racism allegations, and there was a lack of opportunities presented to Blanchard due to these allegations. Nevertheless, one of the names that believes that she should be given a second chance is Matt Hardy, who had this to say during an interview with TV Insider. And one thing I can say is I wasn't there when the Tessa Blanchard drama went down. I know when she returned, I know there were some people saying, "I can't believe she's back." I said you should probably talk to her or listen to her at least. She's willing to talk to anyone and hear any grievances. I know the stuff with the girls she was going to be working with, I know that was going to be worked out. I just think we live in a society where some people forget people are going to make mistakes. If myself and my brother hadn't been given second chances or multiple chances, we wouldn't be here right now. We'd have to be willing to give someone another chance, especially if they work hard and work on themselves and earn it and trying to legitimately be a better person. Now, Hardy's comments will no doubt cause a stir online, as this won't be exactly a popular opinion. What do you guys think? Should she be given a second chance? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.